recorder. Pastor Bill, you get a word from God that you share with people, and it sounds so encouraging. I know it's encouraging when I've received. Have you ever had a word from God that might be received negatively or cause someone to have hurt feelings or confusion?
No, I don't ever get anything from God like that, because God doesn't operate in that. God is good. Uh, God is full of love, and so that is what He's reaching out to people with and to, you know. So He'll give you a word that encourages you and builds you up, and He never will give you one that tears you down. I was in Haiti a year ago, and Marilyn, the lady I go with, she said she had been preaching, and she said, now, Brother Bill is going to give you a word from the Lord. And 5 guys jumped up out of their seat in the back and ran out of church. And I saw them go, and I was interested in why they did that, but afterwards I found out is they didn't want me to be telling people things that they have done wrong. See?
Yeah.
So I had to speak to that church and let them know that God never does that. He is not going to ridicule you or tell people something that you don't want known. He doesn't operate. There's no need for Him to operate that. He is love. God is love. Jesus is for us, not against us.
I love that. Thank you. I'm sure that'll be encouraging to a lot of people. So, I'm going to ask this one, not about you, but how would you explain to someone, how do you know you're going to heaven?
Well, of course, anybody that's been born again knows that they are born again. And when you're born again, you become a child of God, and He lives in you, and you live in Him, and He is saying to you that the just shall live by faith. And we should always be thinking of the goodness of God and teaching the goodness of God, showing the goodness of God, doing all of that. That's part of ministering. We don't need to try to find bad things, wrong things. No. Those are the things that the enemy brings to us. And as we learned before, he's done away with, you know.
Is there anyone out of God's reach?
No, because I believe that God knows everything. And He knows who are His. So He also knows who are not His. Okay? So He wouldn't be after those that are not His. He will be for those that are His, and He will teach teach them how to act and how to conduct themselves with other people, how to encourage other people, how to say nice things to other people, and so on. Mm-hmm. All the things that you would tell your children.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we are.
Yes,
Children
that's right. Well,
so, for future assurance, what name would you like to be on your heavenly white stone? Let's say you have something that's written What's it going to say for Bill Gamlin?
Oh gosh, I don't know. First of all, I've never heard of the white. Uh, what is that?
I think someone just, when I ask people to give me questions, this is what someone suggested to ask. I don't know if there is a heavenly white stone. But let's just say there's going to be a word about Bill Gamlin.
Well, if we're going to heaven, and if there is something like that, then it would be something good. And but I don't think God is wanting to cultivate us to. What are some good things you can say about me? You know, I don't know. I know when I first started my house meetings, and I didn't know anything, or I didn't have any gift, but I know I used to cry a lot. And I used to say this out loud: I just want to be like Jesus. That's all I wanted.
I think that sounds like a great response.
Well, it was for me, because I wanted more and more of him, and I knew that I had to be like him in order to get someplace and go someplace. But that's what it is now. When I go to heaven, I'm going to be just like everybody else that goes to heaven. You know, we're be nobodies. We're just introduced to a whole new dimension, you know. Heaven is our home, and when we get there, it'll be wonderful. Be much more wonderful than anybody's tombstone that would say something about them, you know.
So you get to heaven, you see Jesus face to face. You've already been buddies for years. But what are you going to say to him?
Well, I'm going to say to him, I'm so happy that you found me and that you taught me all the things that you have taught me, and it's wonderful. But I know there's going to be a whole lot of people with a whole lot of more than me. I always admire the Apostle Paul, and I like what he does and how he does it, but I could never be like him.
God's made you special.
Yes, he's a special guy, and the rest of us are just one of his kids. He loves us all the same, and his desires are the same for all of us. Gonna be wonderful, isn't it?
It's going to be wonderful. So, any last thoughts that you want to share?
Well, I would say that I have been blessed for you wanting to hear some things that I might have experienced and said. That's very good. I'm pleased with that, and I'm blessed by it, and I thank you for it. And you know, I love this guy over here. You know, he got saved when I was at church pastoring, and I'm the one that baptized him in his house, and he has been with me from the beginning. He's done lots of things for me, and I love him a lot and appreciate him, and I'm glad that he comes to me. And then I can say to you, I've been blessed with you and your family. You've been a special family. You've done a very good job with bringing up the family, and I always saw Jesus in both you and your husband, and you've done a lot.
To God be the glory. To God be the glory.
Always God be the glory. He does the impossible. And we're part of those impossibles.
And we are thankful He does.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
And you too. Thank you. I love you.
I love you. I love God.
Yes, right.
We love God.
We love God.
We all love God.
Amen, cut.
Yeah.